Hello, my YouTube family. Welcome to another Narc Survivor Live video. I did one earlier today for the chosen ones. And now in this one, we're going to be talking specifically about narcissists and what they do when you leave. Because what they do, their actions are really based on their envy and jealousy of you. And I've said this before, if you look back even at my earliest videos, and of course, many other YouTubers have mentioned this as well, of how the root cause of narcissistic behavior is in fact their envy and their jealousy. It's what triggers them. It's what fuels them to do what they do. When you leave the narcissist, and they may have been envious and jealous before, but they will become even more envious and jealous, even more bitter and resentful. Despite what you may have done for them throughout the relationship, despite everything that you may have given to them freely and out of the goodness of your heart, they're going to see it as though you have abandoned them and as though it is unfair because they're envious and they're jealous. They view you as their possession, as this object that exists to serve them and meet their needs, as something that belongs to them. They fear losing you as their source of supply. They fear losing the benefits and conveniences that you once provided to them, because they envy you for your qualities, possessions, or other desirable attributes. They envy you for everything that you have. And they're very jealous of your life experience. They develop these fantasies in their minds of you moving on and living a perfect life without them. And in some cases, that may actually be the reality as well. That you may feel so much happier, so much more free without them in your life. Because this jealousy causes them to be very possessive and controlling. And you will notice that when they were with you, how they were always putting you down. They would never recognize or celebrate your achievements and success. They always made these sarcastic comments. They tried to sabotage everything that you were doing. And they may have flaunted things in front of you and tried to make you envious of them, because they want to project these emotions onto you. They have all of these feelings inside of them, and they have to try to find a way to deal with that. And they do that by putting it onto you, by trying to make you feel the way that they do. So yes, they are very jealous and controlling. And this does not stop just because you've left. In fact, that makes their jealousy even more pronounced, to where they will seek to possess and control you even more. And they will try to punish you. They will spread rumors about you, start smear campaigns, try to isolate you, tried to prevent you from establishing a support network or destroying the one that you already have, if you already have one. They may try to get you fired from your job. They may target you financially. They will do anything they can just to prevent you from moving on. And it's because they're jealous, because their happiness is not like yours. The narcissist that you're dealing with, they may have their own privacy and a life of their own freedom, but they're really not happy with that. That happiness is not like yours. Even if they have everything, they could have loads of money, a nice house, a nice car, but what good is that if they can't enjoy it? People who are narcissistic, they can't enjoy anything in life. Our happiness does not come from having and consuming things. It comes from our gratitude and from giving and sharing. That's what brings us happiness, and it is no different with narcissists. That's why they're always so bitter and miserable. That's why nothing you do ever makes them happy. There's always something wrong. They've always got a problem. Because they want to project their internal condition onto the external environment. And this is the crazy thing about it, because it's like, after everything you've been through with them, and I've said this before, when I look at victims of narcissistic abuse, everything that was taken from you, I mean, your life was robbed from you. If anyone is justified in feeling envious or jealous, or even developing this grandiose sense of entitlement, if anyone is justified in that, it's you. I mean, after everything you've been through, everything that you had to put up with, you really deserve the best. You deserve it all. You deserve all of the good things in life. After all of the suffering. But narcissists, what do? They just put it onto everyone else. And that's why they really don't deserve anything that they have. Because they cheat, they lie, they steal, they deceive to get the things that they do have. And that's why they really don't even deserve it. And I could never understand this mentality. I mean, I've spoken about it in past videos, but I haven't really talked about it in detail, about how I was raised and what I grew up with. I mean, from the very beginning, I was born into a good home. From what I remember, our first home, we lived in a 4-bedroom house with a pool, a swimming pool, and we had 4 cars. We had 2 Mercedes, a BMW, and a Nissan. And even after that, we then lived in a 6-bedroom mansion, which was separated into 3 properties. And after that, we then lived in another 5-bedroom mansion with 4 floors. We had a lot of nice things, cars, Mercedes, we had 2 Aston Martins. I had a lot of nice designer clothes. I was in private school all of my life. So I had a lot of good privileges in my childhood. There was a lot of abuse as well, a lot of suffering. But there were definitely good things too. And of course, what people don't talk about is what some might consider to be the competition in these environments. In environments where there are the wealthy and the powerful, and even the famous at times. I mean, the street that I was raised in as a teenager, going into a young adult, we had Premier League footballers living on our street. I remember one guy, he was just 22 years old. We were the same age. And he lived in this home, this multi-million pound home with 4 floors and a swimming pool. And he had all of these cars. He had a Mercedes CL63 AMG, brand new, and a Bentley Continental GT, a Range Rover. He had a beautiful wife, children, everything. And also we had 3 Premier League football managers living on our street as well. Roberto Martinez, Paulo Sousa, and also the ex-Liverpool football manager, Brendan Rodgers. He lived next door to us for 3 years when he took over the Swansea football team. And I've never mentioned anything about this before on the channel. I'm not one to name drop or to brag and boast about, I can't even really say that they're my personal achievements. I mean, this was just the effect of being raised in a wealthy family. So it's not really anything so much to do with me. It's not something that I worked for, that I earned myself. But aside from that, someone being raised in that type of environment and seeing all of these things, seeing such young people with multi-million pound homes, supercars, just having everything, and especially just from playing football, of all things, and earning that amount of money every year, I can see how that could cause someone to grow up to be quite bitter and envious. I can definitely see that, and I can understand. But at the same time, we have to accept that people work for these things, they earn them. Even the footballers, I mean, they do go through a lot of trials themselves. It's highly competitive in that industry. There's a lot of stress involved. And not only that, but other people could decide to play football and to try to enter these teams themselves if they wanted to. Or if that's not your thing, you could do something else, you could work hard. But that's not even what we're talking about with narcissists. I mean, of course, I can have some compassion for someone like that who's worked hard all of their life and they didn't get the type of success or what they expected to receive from it. Of course, I can completely understand the injustice in that. I mean, the world isn't that fair for a lot of people, and I get that. People are raised in unfortunate environments. There's a lot of inequality. There's people who are experiencing wars, and through no fault of their own. People dying every day, starving. And of course, none of that is fair. And that's why myself, I support charities. There's one that I've put up on a few live videos already to donate to the kids in Gaza. I've always been in support of people who weren't dealt a good hand in life. Things were unfair for them from the very beginning. Whatever it may have been, especially with disabilities. I mean, of course, that's not fair. But with narcissists, they just believe that they deserve everything. They have this grandiose sense of entitlement, and it's like they've never even done the work. They've never done anything to earn it. I mean, fair enough, if you've put in the work every day for years of your life, then yes, you do have the right to expect a certain level of treatment and to expect certain privileges. I'm all for that myself. And I believe that that acts as an incentive for people to work hard and to contribute to our society. Instead of us just having a bunch of lazy people who all receive equal treatment, even though they haven't put in an equal amount of work and haven't given out an equal amount of value. So I'm all for hard-working, motivated people. And of course, those who are suffering with certain conditions and they may be depressed, I'm all for the support of those people as well, so that they can get back on their feet and get back in the game. So those are my personal beliefs on that. But narcissists, they are very jealous and controlling. Even when you try to leave, they will micromanage everything that you do. They will try to control you. They will try to prevent you from having anything, from being happy, from being successful. And it's because they're miserable. It's because their happiness is not like yours. And this could be because you have better qualities, because it's easier for you, because you're better off. Or another thing as well, even in situations where they have more, and they could have a lot more than you, and I've actually seen this in my own experiences as well, where people have had so much more than me, and you would think that I would be the one who was envious of them, when in fact I was all for them. I thought it was great. You know, you've worked hard to get to where you are in life. You deserve it. You deserve everything you have. And my praise is all yours for that. But they were looking at me and they could see that I was happy with so much less. And that really irritated them as well. So you may notice that too with narcissists, that they are envious of you even when you have less. And they will try to make you feel bad about yourself. They will try to target your self-esteem. They will try to isolate you. They will try to damage you psychologically, to prevent you from just having the fullest experience of life. And you've got to look at it like this with their behaviors. Anything that they're trying to do, that's already how it is for them. Doesn't matter what they have, doesn't matter what they're displaying to you. Look at what they do. That reveals their emotional state. Because a person who is pleased, satisfied, and contented with what they have, it doesn't matter what someone else has, they can still be happy for them. And even if they do feel a little bit of envy, that will only motivate them to work harder on themselves and their own lives. I think people who are really envious and they want to destroy you, it's because they want what you have so bad, and yet they genuinely believe that they're never going to get it. Not unless they cheat, they lie, they deceive, they steal. And that's typically why they resort to doing those things. Because if they could get it by not doing that, then they would probably do that instead. But this is just how it is with narcissists, and some of them may just completely disappear altogether and you'll never see them again. And that can be out of their own jealousy, because they don't want to see you happy, they don't want to witness your success, and they want to hope that they're taking something away from you by them disappearing and you not hearing from them again. Or some of them will just never leave you alone. They'll remain a constant presence in your life. Meanwhile, they are just dripping you of your happiness. They're doing everything they can to take that away from you, because yes, they are envious and they are jealous. And that's just how it is with them. They're always going to be that way. The older they get, the more bitter and resentful they become. And yet it's not like that for us, despite everything that we've gone through. I mean, the things that you've been through, and yet you don't attack them, you don't feel any need to get revenge. They just become even more bitter. Sorry, I know the sound has gone off there. But yeah, they don't do what we do. They just become even more bitter and resentful. And then they try to take it out on us. So yeah, that's just how it is with them. So yeah, just be cautious when you do leave, because you never know how they might react with their envy and their jealousy. But yeah, I'd just like to thank you all for joining me on another live video. You can hit that thumbs up button down below to show your support. I appreciate you all. And as always, I look forward to speaking with you in another live video very soon.